Well, greetings, friends, and welcome to another episode of The Mistake Zone, your weekly dose of our lives and the mistakes within them. My name is Jaren Wade. Joining me, as always, one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Matt Alba. Hey, Matt.
Yo.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Matt, that's great. We're here another week, but we're also joined by another one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Rakush, who was, as you know, weekly listeners might have noticed, was not here last week. But Rakush, I believe you were able to make it this week after some, let's say, traumatic experiences. Rakush, what did it take to get here this week on The Mistake Zone?
So, friends, I am harrowed this evening. So, I wasn't here last week because I went on vacation, went to meet a close friend of ours, Julian. It was a really fun trip, and came back earlier this week. Was a little bit in my feels, because it's that post-vacation thing. You come back, to quote one of my favorite movies, I saw things you wouldn't believe. Saw some good friends as well, friends I hadn't seen for many years, and maybe I might not see for another few. It's the side effect of getting older, I guess. So I was in my feels a lot of, and I was doing all this while I was taking a shit. So, I finish up, I get up, I go to wash my hands, go to open the door. Friends, the latch won't turn. I was trapped in a bathroom.
Oh no.
The very next day after I came back from vacation. So if I had any reason to get out of that post-vacation funk, I guess this was it, because I needed to figure out what to do here. But anyways, yeah, I'm stuck, man. I cannot open this door. I cannot figure it out for the life of me. I'm pretty sure at that moment that, something's wrong with the actual handle and the latch, the mechanism inside. Don't have a screwdriver, so can't really use that either. Not in the bathroom, at least. So I called the building security first. And the building security dude is we cannot help you with this because it's an apartment issue or a property issue, not a building issue. You have to call a locksmith. So I was like, well, okay, I guess, shit, but if I have to, right? No choice. So I call him up. Locksmith's 30 minutes. All right, cool. I can survive 30 minutes. Thankfully, my phone battery's 50-something%. So I can handle a couple of hours. And also, thankfully, enough toilet paper in the bathroom as well in case I needed to, do anything. 45 minutes passed, friends. Locksmith's not here. Called the dude back. He's like, I have a flat tire. It's going to be another 30 minutes.
Damn. Oh, man.
So at this moment, I'm like, all right, this is a lot of karma for the day before laughing a little too hard at Hulk Hogan dying. Probably. So I was like, all right, you know what? Game's the game. You just got to eat this. Better days coming up tomorrow, I guess. But friends, it's in this moment that I remembered that I ate Chinese food earlier that day. And the story's not going where you think it's going to go, considering we're talking Chinese food in the bathroom. No. Friends, I got a fortune cookie with a double fortune in it. And one of those fortunes read, I quote, use your talents. That's what they're intended for. Okay. And friends, this is when RacGyver, brother of MacGyver, was born. Because I got inspired. And I got inspired enough to try to figure out this thing myself. So now, I'm looking at this door, alright? And I noticed that one of the hinges, it's got a stopper attached to it. So, the door doesn't, slam against the wall every single time. The thing about this stopper, though, is it gives you enough of a grip to remove the hinge. So, I removed the hinge. And now, the door is kind of loose from the top, even though the latch itself is still not functioning. I'm able to at least, shimmy the door a little bit, and I was able to shimmy it enough. So then I look under the bathroom sink, and I find basically a plastic snake drain.
Oh.
It's the thing you use to, basically, declog, the sinks and, the bath and stuff.
The thing that looks like the thing you let it rip with the Beyblade.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Great description.
The ripcord, that's it.
That's exactly it, right? So I have one of those. So now I'm shimming this door a little bit. I'm able to make enough of a gap behind the latch to sneak the snake drain in there, and then basically let it rip like a Beyblade, guys. It caught on. I pulled. Friends, that shit did not work. I'm still stuck in the toilet right now. I'm actually recording from there. No, jokes.
It's a good thing that you brought your recording equipment into the washroom.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes. Not joking. Door burst open. I get out of there. I shit you not, guys. I've never felt prouder of myself than figuring out how to get out of there. Because I also saved myself like $60 on that.
Yeah, okay, so what happened with the locksmith? Did he...
So, okay, he doesn't show up.
Uh-huh.
I called him up like immediately being like, no need for this anymore. Thankfully, he doesn't show up. It would have cost me $100 to get out of the door, like get the door open or whatever. But then like I saved that $100. I still had to go to Home Depot and buy like a new handle and everything, which I have installed, although it's not like the door's not closing now, which is like the complete opposite of the problem that I was having. But at least like I'm not.
Is it like too big for the your, or like the, I guess that part that comes out is too big?
It's not. I bought the right size and everything. I've been kind of like watching a bunch of videos and looking up what it is I need to do. I've like realigned the door this morning. I've done a couple of different things. It's not quite worked. Apparently it's a pretty common issue that sometimes like the latch metal plating itself, sometimes it's just like a little bit too big, so like you need to potentially just shave it off a little bit.
I see.
So those are like the next few things I'm gonna have to try. Thankfully I don't have people coming over anytime soon, so I'm no longer in a rush here, but harrowing experience, you guys. But I'm here.
It's good that you made it out because really it would have been very sad if they just found you one day in the toilet. Just like died, and I feel like that would be, that obituary would read pretty funny to me, but pretty badly for you.
It would be hilarious, and it would be very fitting, because there's not many places where I could die and it would be more fitting than on the crapper. So, although I would have called 911 before it got that dire, but it didn't get that dire, thankfully. But no, I had to break out, man. I had to break out so I could be here recording with my best friends in the whole wide world, So I'm here as RacGyver, not Rakush. At least not for this recording. RacGyver.
So the moral of the story is, did you end up putting a screwdriver in your bathroom afterwards?
Oh, yeah.
I probably should, right?
I feel like,
no.
In terms of things to keep in the washroom, I think screwdriver is one of those. Probably should have one in each, just kind of an extra one, just in case a unfortunate situation like yours befalls on you. But proud of you, Rakush, for figuring it out and escaping. But I was expecting a little more MacGyvering from that. I think the snake drain helped out, but Rakush, let's do a thought experiment. If you didn't have the snake drain, what was the next move there?
Oh, I would have just curled up for like 20 more minutes, cried, and then just waited for the locksmith to show up.
So where does that fall in the tier of tears?
You know what? That's a great question. I need therapy.
So do I, Rakush. So do I. But Rakush, you said that, preceding this whole ordeal, you were in your feels, where I too was in my feels this week. I was feeling myself while dancing to DJ Pikachu for an hour straight. Matt? I hear DJ Pikachu opened up to Pokemon Presents, which I didn't watch just because I was too in a vibe after DJ Pikachu and had to take a power nap. But Matt, Pokemon Presents, the latest entry in these pseudo, not actually Nintendo Directs, but Matt, what is new in the world of Pokemon for July 2025?
I mean, I think that the biggest, specifically new thing to me was that they announced Pokepark Kanto, which I am very confused on what it actually is going to be.
Rakush, did you watch the Pokemon Presents?
I skimmed through it because I was kind of curious what they announced, but if I'm being a little bit sassy, it doesn't seem like they announced a lot.
Okay. So you have an idea of what a Pokepark is, correct?
Yes.
Okay. As someone who just admitted I didn't watch this, is Pokepark something Animal Crossing adjacent?
It is not at all.
Well, I'm not interested anymore.
Uh-huh.
What's Poke Park
So-
Kanto Edition?
So Poke Park Kanto is the first permanent outdoor Pokemon attraction, and it is located in the Yomiuri Land amusement park in. I'm gonna assume the Kanto region of Japan, but that's just a wild guess on my part. I did look it up. It's about like an hour and a half train from Tokyo Station, so I think that it actually is in Kanto. If I got my what do you call it, Japan geography down.
It is, yeah.
I mean, basically, this is just a section of a amusement park similar to, I guess, what's it called? The one in Universal Studios, Super Mario World Land?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like whatever their Nintendo portion is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it is in Kawasaki City, Kanagawa Prefecture, if that helps.
Mm-hmm. And this is going to be opening. Honestly, I was very surprised that they were saying this is going to be opening in early 2026. That's much earlier than I would have expected something like this to be. But like what they have shown is that, this attraction is basically two parts. A part that's called Pokemon Forest, which is a foresty area that it seems like you can walk through, and Sedge Town, which is basically just the kind of, I guess, not touristy part, but like the services part, like, your restaurants, it looks like there's like one or two like small rides there, your shops, like that sort of area. And I'm like pretty like both confused and intrigued on what this is actually going to be, because it seems like the big attraction here is like, oh, we're going to be showing you Pokemon in their quote unquote natural habitats, or like working within the city, because there's going to be a bunch of I guess statues, or what is the word that's like statue but like it's figures but like they're big.
Giant Gundams.
Yeah, or giant Gundams in this area where like you have like life-size, I guess, displays of Pokemon, and I am curious on how interesting it's actually going to be, because I'm wondering, I'm just like genuinely wondering what is the real pull here, because it looks like they're trying to set it up almost like a zoo, but it's statues, and I don't know how actually appealing that is.
I feel like this is going into the territory of those, interactive museums, something like A-Team Labs or that White Rabbit I went to back in Spain, where it's mostly about photo ops and hopefully interactive exhibits in a way where, if the whole point is to display Pokemon kind of in these quote unquote natural environments, or at least these fictional environments that would be sort of reality in a Pokemon world, I think the only appeal in that to me personally is the photo op, and there'd have to be some really good photo ops, especially if you are trying to compete with similar off museums in that sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
You would hope that there would be some sort of interactive kind of experience attached to it, maybe some sort of rides, maybe a good tour. But at the end of the day, if it is just statues, more or less, I only see that as a walk through, take pictures, hopefully take pictures without getting in someone else's way or someone getting in your way. But again, I think your mileage would end up varying depending on how much you want those photo opportunities. Does it sound like something for you, Matt?
I don't know. Like, I think there is a chance it could be for me, but I think for the most part, I'm leaning like 70% no, 30% yeah.
Right. And I don't know, me being me, I'd hope there was some photo op opportunities with other trainers, but I feel like this is going to be Pokemon centric, which kind of decreases the interest level for me.
But Jared, you're okay. How many life-sized, I guess, like, real Pokemon characters would need to be there for you to really want to
Matt,
go?
Jared just wants a photo with the Yuri. Stop pushing about this.
I mean, okay, yeah, Jared, is Iono enough of a pull, like, just by yourself to make you go there?
Sorry, Iono.
So I was having this conversation the other day, in that if you went to Japan and you only had, say, a day, in Kyoto, would you do Universal Studios or would you do the Nintendo Museum? And if this is an hour and a half, give or take, from Tokyo, for this Pokemon park to be a consideration, in that lineup, I need, at the very least, Iono, a photo op with Iono, Sabrina, Misty, a Nurse Joy in a Poke Center, where I think the photo op would be you putting the Pokeballs in the whatever machine to use. I'd need at least those. Oh, and of course, Crystal, or whatever her name is. Which I don't think Crystal really gets any shine compared to, say, Dawn or whatever. So I'd need at least those 5 to have it in the running. But I guess now that I put it out...
I don't think Crystal's ever going to show up.
That makes me sad, boys. That makes me sad.
Just to confirm, are you saying statues of these characters or, like, mascot actors?
Well, again, if we're thinking these are the Pokemon just statues and at the very most animatronics, or are they like mascots at that point?
I think so far what they've shown is statues or at best animatronics.
Okay, could be there's going to be a Pikachu and a Snorlax walking around at some point.
Oh yeah, probably.
But no, that would be statues inside photo op where. I don't know, maybe Iono's is, hey, you're in a YouTube screen and you're collabing or something. But now that I asked the question, boys, if you went back to Tokyo and then you had a day trip opportunity, is it Universal Studios or is it the Nintendo Museum? If you can only do one of the two. Rakush, what would you do?
To be honest, I don't know what's at the Nintendo Museum, but if it's more of a museum and less of an amusement park, then yeah, Nintendo Museum.
How about you, Matt?
I would lean Nintendo Museum, but that is because of the merch side rather than the actually what's there. Because I really, really want those, those like really big, I guess like pillow-like Nintendo controllers. Yep. I really want those so badly.
I too want those mad alba, but
I think the next time that I go to Japan, I'm going to be bringing vacuum sealable bags and trying to like fit those in there.
Oh man, this is a discussion for another episode. But we're talking about Pokemon Presents. Matt, PokePark had some legs to that. Anything else in this presentation that had legs?
I mean, I think it won't have that many legs for us, but Pokemon Champions is actually a very interesting, what do you call it? It's very interesting now that they've showed exactly what it is, because it is looking like it is going to be a Pokemon Stadium-esque, I guess, like, system that is open to being competitive, because you are going to be able to specifically train Pokemon into the kind of, the competitive side where you're dealing with EVs, dealing with, I'm guessing they're going to have a way to deal with IVs. They didn't specifically show it in this one, but EVs for sure, you're going to be able to change natures, you're going to be able to set up move lists, and I don't know. And they have said that the currency that you're going to be using to do this is not buyable. So seems like it's not going to be a pay to win type system.
Okay. Did they show any gameplay on it? Like, how's this game actually looking is what I'm curious about.
I mean, this game looks pretty good, actually. It has a lot of interesting stuff to it. Very minor things that I think most people wouldn't be too, what do you call it? I guess, they wouldn't be like too surprised by or like too drawn in by, but it's things like, hey, you have like better looking menus for how your Pokemon are going to attack. Your Pokemon health bars now have percentages on them as well. The kind of move lists themselves, when you are picking a move, there's like new tiers there, because before they would only show like, oh, not effective or super effective. They've now broken it into like extremely effective, and I don't know what the other one is, but super effective used to cover anything that the target Pokemon is weak to, but now super effective is 2 times, very effective is 4 times damage, and then there's the equivalents for, what do you call it, resistant to that type of damage. And they have been pushing, hey, that this is going to be also 1-on-1 or 2v2, and that the rule sets, they haven't shown how they're going to be able to, like, how you're going to handle the rule sets, but they have shown, Megas and terrestrialized Pokemon in the same battle, which is very interesting from a competitive Pokemon battling perspective.
Okay. And I believe they gave at least a tentative date, right?
Yeah, I think they said early 2026. Or no, sorry. Just 2026, not early, not early.
Fair.
But
Fair.
I think that this specifically, along with Pokemon Legends ZA, is making me wonder what's going to be happening to Pokemon in the future. Specifically because since they have now set up this Pokemon Champions battle, I guess, like system, I'm wondering if now the mainline games, or if they're going to do more spin-off style games in the style of Pokemon Legends, Arceus or ZA, where they have alternative battle systems. You know, like Arceus having the speed and I can't remember the phrasing they use here. There's like the fast attacks and like the heavy attacks. I think strong and or fierce and like speed or something. And then, you know, Pokemon Legends CA having the more Digimon World-esque fight system where you're moving around and you're giving commands to the Pokemon at the same time. And I'm really, really hoping that with Pokemon Champions being, I guess, the mainline battling system, that they're going to be doing more weird Pokemon type games in the future.
And now that you kind of mentioned, if the core battle system, the traditional turn base is going to live through champions, I wonder, just because, again, since I have some toes dipped into the Pokemon TCG scene and seeing how popular the, Scarlet and Violet Pokemon 151 set was, where I think in a perfect world, if you're going to explore, alternatives or off battle systems that you're able to now that the traditional one lives on in Champions, I think my dream Pokemon, scenario would be some sort of reimagining of those original blue and reds and greens, but have it more so contained to the original 151, but be more so a, something more active, like a more active battle system, maybe even going into that Final Fantasy 16 territory. And if you were to scale it back, maybe that is something more possible. But that, for Pokemon fans, we've been burned before. Realistically, even if the turn-based system lives on in Pokemon Champions, how likely do you think that the Pokemon Company and Game Freak will want to try to kind of explore more than what we're used to with this franchise?
I mean, I'm not really expecting like too much. I do expect that they are going to release, standard battle system Pokemon like mainline games at their usual rate. But I hope that, something like Legends style weird stuff does come out at, I guess, like in equivalent, like, I guess, like lockstep with it of like, hey, here's your standard mainline and then here's your offshoot and then mainline then offshoot. Because I think that if they're going down this route and if like Pokemon Legends is successful, I would really like something that's more akin to Pokken, but like not as fighting game-y.
Yeah,
I think that would be my like ideal.
And again, I feel like you can only really explore something that in depth if you were to scale it back to that original 151. Something similar to what they did with Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, but more mechanically dense than something like that. But Matt, you mentioned Pokemon ZA a lot. Of course, that was shown off in the Pokemon Presents. I feel like we've seen so much of this game through the various directs, through the various Pokemon Presents, and the fact that it is coming out within a few months. Regarding what was shown this time around, Matt, was there anything new that they were able to squeeze out, or was it, to you, some kind of familiar territory?
I think it was mostly all familiar territory. I didn't see anything particularly new. I mean, they showed Mega Dragonite, which I think, like, that looks good. I think for me, honestly, the most interesting thing that I saw is that, hey, you can change your clothes. Because I remember that me and you were kind of miffed at Scarlet and Violet only being the school outfit, basically. But this one it seems like you have free range of your outfits again.
Pretty good, Matt. But yeah, Pokemon Presents, the latest one. Anything else that stood out to you?
Nothing else really stood out to me. I was actually very disappointed that the Switch 2 bundle for Pokemon Legends ZA is just a normal Switch 2. It was kind of...
Yeah.
I was really, really hoping, because I'm really curious on how alternate Switch 2s are going to look. Specifically the Joy-Cons, but I am also wondering how the Switch 2s themselves are going to change. Specifically the kind of like, the blue and red part that's on the sides where it connects to the Switch 2. Or the Joy-Cons connected to the Switch 2. I'm really wondering if they're going to be changing that color palette there specifically.
You would hope. But yeah, I'm really curious just to see what they do with Joy-Con colors and the base model as well, since those collector's editions are right around the corner. But the latest Pokemon Presents, available now on the Pokemon channel probably, or on YouTube, or I don't know, maybe that Nintendo Today app has some sort of additional information. But Matt, speaking about miniature monsters or creatures doing incredible things, you played a Steam demo this week as well. One that I think the first time I saw a trailer for this game really left an impression on me. But Matt,
yes,
how is Tanuki Pons Summer?
Tanuki Pond Summer is like a pretty fun demo. I actually really enjoyed my time with it. This is basically, a Tony Hawk game. If I guess like more so like a Tony Hawk Underground style game. If it were a Tanuki and he was doing BMX instead of skateboarding, because
shout out to Matt Hoffman.
Oh yeah, because like I think like this is a pretty fun demo from when I was playing. It is. I think I'm going to be drawing, like, of course, a lot of comparisons to Tony Hawk here, but this is a lot more mini-gamey than I was expecting it to be. Because the basic framework of this game is that you are a Tanuki that rides a BMX bike and delivers packages to citizens of a town. And the town is kind of the, I guess, open-worldy-esque area where you're able to, do your tricks and do the Tony Hawk half of this game. But the other half of this game is that, when you're getting your packages at the start, you are kind of doing a, I guess, like sort of Tetris type game where there's a bunch of packages on the left and you're trying to fit them into your bag on the right, and you're Tetrising them all into space, into like this small square. And that's how many packages you can go out and bring. And when you bring the packages to these people, you are either, just getting a confirmation of, hey, you brought the package, or for more, I guess, prominent NPCs, you are able to do mini games with them. And these mini games kind of like are all pretty different. Like you have one where you're doing a photo op where, hey, I want you to like trick your way over to these statues and take a picture with them, or you are doing, I guess, kind of reverse Fruit Ninja, where you go over to an izakaya and, it's like, there's all these pieces of like meat or veggies in the air, and you're trying to skewer through them with, just like a straight poke, and you're trying to get as many on there as you can. And then, there's a sumo game, which is pseudo Punch-Out-esque as a mini game, where you're just, using sort of Punch-Out mechanics to push a sumo wrestler out of the ring. And I don't know, I think it's like a fun time. I do wonder how long the full game is going to be and how different the world or the areas are going to be, because you are very much limited to just a small section of the town, because, it is a demo, but it does, I think, play very well. It follows a lot of the Tony Hawk, I guess, control schemes, where your bottom face button is your jump, your left face button is, I guess, like swing tricks, your rightward face button is grab tricks, and then I guess it's a little different from Tony Hawk. It might have, I don't know if this is the way it was in the BMX game equivalent, but it is the like no touching the bike style tricks. I don't really know what you would call those.
No, like the Matt Hoffman games were more so following that traditional where the top face button would be grind. So
yeah, in this case, the grind button is your right trigger, and the right trigger is also your, I guess, like sprint equivalent, or I guess in this case it wouldn't be sprinting, but make you go fast. It's the make you go fast button, and then your bumpers are handling your wheelies, sort of. So like it does control, at least to me, like very familiarly. Jaren, the thing that in this game that I kind of don't like is that the go fast button where you have to hold the right trigger. Because I don't remember that being a thing in Tony Hawk. And I guess since I'm comparing this so much to Tony Hawk, when things are different from the way I want them to be, I don't like it.
Yeah, I think that's what, scares, quote unquote, scares me about playing this demo is, since I'm still in the midst of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, I feel like the muscle memory would really mess me up, considering that, traditionally in these games, it is the bottom face button to technically go faster, and then you release it to jump or ollie, where also not a fan of grinds being attached to a trigger button. So I think there would be a adjustment time there, but it's good that it, at least to you, Matt, feels well. I think my biggest anxiety point was watching the trailer, was watching our little friend, hitting ramps and having all these packages stacked up on the front of his bike. Matt, if you fall, do you lose all your packages, or?
I am very happy to say that you do not lose all the packages. You get knocked off the bike, but the packages are basically glued to you, which I really, really like, and I think it would have been insane if you had to pick up the packages whenever you bailed on a trick. But
that would have made me feel real bad.
I honestly think that would have ruined the game if that was the mechanic.
Yeah. So I'm watching like the demo trailer, and the first comment here is Dave Mirra BMX meets Death Stranding, and kind of.
Yeah, kind of. You are going around trying to. I guess you don't have to balance the packages, but it is. I see it.
Yeah, the style looks phenomenal, by the way, and it seems like there's way more in this game than I thought there would be. Like, this is an indie game, right? Like, this is not being distributed by like a middle tier sort of like company or anything like that. It's a straight up indie release.
I don't know if it's specifically an indie.
I don't know. If you told me that Devolver or like Spike Chunsoft was like distributing or publishing this, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah.
Like the developer, like when I looked, this is their only game, but it is being published by Critical Reflex. I'm not sure what else like big things they put out. Oh, Mouthwashing, Buckshot Roulette. Looking through Critical Reflex's, I guess, gallery, like what they publish. There are a lot of games that I would consider indie games that I do recognize here, that are about the same level that I would consider Tanuki Pons Summer to be.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like, it is a solid game. The art style is actually, I didn't mention it, but it is like it's like a very good art style. Like, it's very solid. It looks good. Everything looks good together, and I really actually like the way they, I guess, characterize the NPCs. In that, like, I don't know, they react in a very fun way. The animations actually remind me a lot of something I would expect out of like Jet Set Radio or Crazy Taxi, in the way that things like react. And
I was thinking like Katamari Damacy a little bit with like some of the character designs and stuff.
Yeah. I also just really like that they really lean into the Tanuki not talking. Like, you do get a lot of dialogue boxes in this game, and the way you respond is just like picking, I guess, like an emotional response for the Tanuki, whether it's just them like, oh, shaking their head, or them looking scared, or them just throwing their hands into the air, or it's like all those sort of things, and I think it plays very well in that sense.
But yeah, I don't know, like visually it looks great. Can't wait to get my hands on the demo as well. But yeah, Matt, anything else from Tanuki's Pond Summer?
No, I mean, like, the demo is like free right now. I don't know how long the demo is going to be out, so I really suggest that if it at all sounds interesting to you, you really should check it out as soon as you can.
For sure. And yeah, currently coming soon on Steam, so hopefully something within the next couple of months to check out. But yeah, Tanuki Pond Summer demo available now. But Speaking about animals who are getting some hang time, Rakush, you were
buddy.
pretty giddy this week when you shared a certain image in our group chat.
Oh, buddy. Guys, Air Bud's getting a remake.
Oh, man. Okay.
There's nothing else out for this except for a single poster. All I'm saying, though, is that it seems like a remake or a reboot of some sort because typically when it's just a direct sequel to the Air Bud movies, it's a different sport. This seems like the first time they're revisiting like the basketball one, so I am really curious what they're doing with this. I'm psyched. I'm psyched, man.
I'm really curious if it's actually like a story remake or it's just a concept remake.
I'm curious too. Like, what are they gonna do with this? Are they gonna be super ambitious and do like a time travel story where it's like the original story, but like, you know, there's a modern day Air Bud that has to go back in time to like, you know, meet the original Air Bud. That would be a cool moment to me. I think that would be like the theater would go crazy and stuff, you know. But,
that's too involved of a story. I think that's I don't want talking dogs in my Air Bud reboot.
It doesn't have to be a talking dog to be a time traveler. There's no rule that says a time traveler has to talk.
Yeah, there's no rule. There's no rule to rule book.
There's no rules.
But like, I don't want it to be that wild. I want. Okay, this is gonna sound like a weird sentence, but I want my Air Bud to be grounded. You know?
So you want a gritty remake
I want
using live dogs?
I mean, of course, I would want it to be live dogs. Wait, do you think this is gonna be a CGI remake?
1000%. There's no chance they're using a real dog
Really?
Anymore. Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm gonna look up this story because I want to make sure I get this right. But I'm pretty sure there was already some controversy around like Air Bud 2, where there's like, yeah. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I got the movie here.
That's surprising.
There is. This is a little bit of a sad story, and if you don't do well with like dog pet stuff, maybe skip this. So Matt, you might want to go on mute for a bit. But Snow Buddies, which is the 7th film in the Air Bud franchise, had 5 of the dogs die during filming. So I don't think they're ever going to use real dogs again.
Really? I almost feel like this might not play if it's not a real dog. But I guess the live action, what do you call it, like Lion King stuff, and live action Jungle Book, that's have like pretty realistic animals. But
now you know how I feel about like CG effects versus practical effects.
Yeah, maybe. But I almost feel like this doesn't reboot as well if it's not a real dog.
I mean, nah, it'll be fine, man. Like, I don't know. There's been 1,000 like Air Bud movies that have used CG characters as well, so like it'll be okay.
But I think like if they're going back to base, like they never
think there's
use
a lot
like
of filming regulations that are gonna stop them from using real dogs. I think that's the larger conversation around why there's no real dog being used potentially. They could. I just feel like there's a lot of risk with that, so that's why I'm just fully assuming it's gonna be a CG dog.
Did they announce if this is a theatrical release or is this a streaming service?
All I've seen is a poster. I think they're just rolling out the marketing for this now, so we'll hear more in the coming weeks and months. Maybe they'll do a Japan time style release where you have to be awake at 3 a.m. to get news leaks for this one. I don't know.
They're not.
You know,
let's be honest, they're not.
Maybe. Hey, listen, you don't know how ambitious the marketing team is. They might have put a lot of money into this one. You know, they might have a surprisingly high budget.
The tag is literally "Ain't No Rules" 2026.
Yeah. If they don't drop that there's no rules, dogs can't play basketball in this movie, I'm going to riot.
I feel that. Have I ever told you guys I have this theory about the Air Bud expanded universe? It's like its own cinematic universe, and like
during the Don't Match Me when we talked about Air Bud, I'm pretty sure you dropped this.
There you go. That is why I think the time travel thing is important to validate my theory, because if they do time travel, then I can confirm that it's the multiverse, you know? Like, it's very important for me that they do the time travel story, and so, you know, I might have to be on set for this one as a consultant of some sort.
Summer theatrical release 2026. Yes. Theatrical.
Yeah.
So guess it's not going straight to streaming.
Boys, if we're going to live in a world where Air Bud Returns goes to theater and people are questioning why K-pop Demon Hunters went straight to Netflix, I feel like we've strayed too far from the light.
Do you think this will get a 4DX release?
Wait, Did you say summer 2026?
Yeah, summer theatrical 2026 window.
Realistically, is there a Marvel movie or a DC movie scheduled for that time? Because that's going to eat up the 4DX.
Isn't like Avengers? Isn't Doomsday coming out?
Oh, that's probably a May one. I feel like Airbud Returns, realistically, if it does get a 4DX release, that's like a 2-week runtime.
Yeah, but let's be real, guys. Like, if Air Bud is coming out that weekend, all the movies are delaying or like pushing their releases by a little bit just to make room for Air Bud. Like, you're not going to go compete with
I can't
Buddy.
tell if I hate this goof or not.
I'm thinking about 4DX release for this. I feel like if we were going to go for a dog-based 4DX movie, an old dog-based, I guess, franchise, I feel like the one that would make the most use of 4DX would probably be the Beethoven movies. Just because of the dog slobber as like a part of it. Because
but 4DX hasn't done water, at least from what I've seen, in a while. Where I don't think
they'll bring it back, Jared. They'll bring it back.
You guys should have gone watch Twisters, man. That movie had a little bit of that.
Did it have
splash
dogs?
Zone. It didn't have dogs, but it had a little bit of water. Well, it might have had a dog.
Wait, did you go to 4DX of Twisters?
That's actually the only movie I watched in 4DX. Perfect experience.
So there was water there. You're confirming there was water there.
Confirming there was water there. Yes.
Okay. Fair. I don't know if Airbud Returns go. I feel like this might play well in 4DX just because you have him running down the court. There's probably going to be a scene where he's chasing a car. I'm going to assume he's chasing a car at some point.
Guys, do you think there's any chance that LeBron James or Charles Barkley are going to be in this movie?
I sure hope so.
Oh, man.
I'm just picturing, like, Victor Wembanyama getting crossed over by Air Bud. Oh, man. Yeah.
Man.
Actually, Rakush, realistically, which NBA players, since we don't know the budget for this, I'm not going to assume it's really high. Realistically, which NBA players are making a cameo appearance in Air Bud Returns?
Ooh. I feel like Karl Anthony Towns and Russell Westbrook are the first that come to mind. But, like, Karl Anthony Towns is, like, the goofy teammate on like another team that's like, oh, puppy, and then he like lets Air Bud drive past him, which like fits into his like never playing defense moniker. Russell Westbrook, because I feel like you need at least one basketball player on the other side who takes things a little too seriously against the dog, and so like you'd get like an actual like solid defensive possession where like Russell Westbrook steals the ball from like Air Bud, goes for a dunk and like almost gets it, but then Air Bud does a LeBron block on him. So maybe Andre Iguodala might be the other guy as well. I've thought about this a lot actually, in case you guys haven't figured this out.
Air Bud Returns, 8 new rules, 2026.
Can't wait. Movie of the year, lockdown. Post-credit scene, it's gonna be like just King Kong watching Air Bud highlights.
No,
Godzilla watching Air Bud highlights.
The post credits is gonna be the MVP primate watching the Air Bud's like I guess like news segment.
You have no idea the goosebumps I just got right now, Matt.
Oh man,
I literally can't tell if I hate this group or not. Oh man! But speaking about animals doing cool things. Boys, once again, Matt, I told you earlier this week that I needed to make another formal apology to one Mr. Kong and one Miss Pauline. Because, Matt, get ready for this week's segment of Jaren's Donkey Kong Bonanza 8 Escape. Because, Matt, every week I'm going to relive my experience, my playthrough of Donkey Kong Bonanza 8 minutes at a time. Because, Matt, this week in between countless Uma Musume runs, I played 8 more minutes of Donkey Kong Bonanza. And, Matt, I met Rock Pauline. Well, Odd Rock, specifically, within those next 8 minutes of gameplay. And, Matt, Donkey Kong Bonanza revealed that Pauline is the Odd Rock. And there's something, I don't know, weird about getting your rock companion fully knowing that Pauline resides inside said rock. But for the next foreseeable few hours, that rock is not Pauline. And there's this weird disconnect where I know what the twist is, I know what the reveal is supposed to be, but yet this odd rock keeps talking to me. Matt, I know you can't keep that a secret because the moment embargoes lift, the moment reviews go out, everyone's mentioning, hey, this rock is Pauline. But I still feel like they blew the load a bit too early. Matt, what are your feelings on the Pauline reveal and not immediately playing as Pauline?
I get it. I guess okay. You don't have Rock Pauline for very long, right?
Okay.
Or you haven't like de-rocked her yet.
Are we done with the goof, Matt? I played more than 8 minutes of Donkey Kong
okay.
Bonanza.
Okay.
But let's say I've played around, I want to say you get actual Pauline once you complete the main quest line of the first major level. So give or take, I've personally put in, I think, one, I don't like how the Switch won't tell you how long you've had, your gameplay until it's like 10 days since you played that game for the first time. So I can't tell you. I'm pretty sure I've played around 4 hours of Donkey Kong Bonanza. And just now, I got my first Kong power where you're able to turn into a Super Kong. And then during that, kind of getting that power, Pauline is free from her rock shell. So
I see. Oh, you get that a lot earlier than I would have thought that you'd get it.
Yeah, so it's by the end of the first level. So you could technically beeline it if you wanted to and get her relatively quick. But Matt, when I got to the first major level of Donkey Kong Bonanza, it really gave me this sense of kind of anxiety or choice paralysis because these levels are, I want to say, pretty substantial. I think they are within the same realm as what you would expect from Mario Odyssey. But the thing is, you're Minecrafting a lot, where, of course, there is such a huge element of destructible environment. And Matt, the first time I get to this new level, I start trying to break everything. I want to kind of dig deep, see what I can find. And Matt, I find a banana. And then I get the biggest pit in my stomach of, oh, wait, there are bananas literally hidden inside here. And at this point, I don't know what's pointing me to said bananas, where all of a sudden it's, oh, crap, I need to dig everywhere for these bananas. Because bananas are tied to your skill points. Every 5 bananas you find, you get 1 skill point. Yeah. And sure, every time you complete a major objective, you might get 3 bananas. But still, it's, oh, wait, what's going on? How do I find these bananas? I'm scared. And, to be fair, as you kind of progress through this one level, you talk to certain NPCs, they might point you in a direction of, hey, there might be a collectible here. There might be a banana here. Or you might be digging around, you might find a treasure chest with a map that says, hey, maybe come to this area for a collectible. And once again, those collectibles, as you said last week, Matt, each level has their own collectible that you can, in turn, buy different cosmetics with their own set, which you can upgrade for different power-ups. And it got worse where with Pauline or with Odd Rock or Pauline, you can get her to sing by hitting the left bumper, and it will kind of tell you where to go next for your next major objective. But then for one of the early missions, it's, hey, we need to go down a sub level to kind of continue the story. And then I realized, wait, you want me to go down, but there's still 2 other major areas in this first level that I haven't explored or touched yet. And Matt, I'm a sweet baby boy. I kind of need guidance to kind of point me in the direction where to go, because even though these are, fairly sized levels, it still felt a bit overwhelming. And, you do have those, hey, here are your shrine equivalents that once you find these places, you get teleported to maybe a platforming area or a combat area, and then of course you're being rewarded bananas there. But it I don't know. The first power up I instantly got, Matt, was to make sure that whenever I did my R bumper, slap move, that creates a sonar to kind of ping what's around me. And I'm kind of trying to upgrade that just to help with the anxiety I'm feeling. But I know you got the same sense as this, just watching kind of footage through osmosis. But from what you've seen in terms of kind of the scale of these levels, Matt, and the collectibles, how are you kind of feeling based on what you've seen?
Yeah, from what I've been seeing, and I guess just like hearing people say about the game, the sonar clap is one of the more important, I guess, abilities to level up and power up through the game through both, skill points and clothing. And actually surprising to me, what I heard is like one of the best ways to clear out levels is to enable the co-op mode, because apparently, the co-op Pauline really, really makes clearing out, the levels like a lot easier.
We're playing Minecraft, Matt. We're playing Minecraft. I gotta admit, I really wish there was a respec option, because, Matt, I fucked up.
Oh man, there's no respec? Damn.
I dumped a lot of my early skill points, because one, I didn't realize you could continually level up the sonar. Because, Matt, when I saw upgrades that cost, like, essentially 20 bananas at that point, it's, I'm going to get this 20 banana point skill, but I'm not using it. And I probably should have upgraded a skill I actually use, like punching power or sonar. Instead, I can surf on water if I wanted to, but one, I don't have a need to surf on water. And I feel like the rock double jump isn't a proper double jump to what I'm used to. So I screwed up. Hot gaming tip, just push everything into sonar right away. Maybe punching power.
You can respec.
Oh, can you respec?
I just Googled this to make sure. Yes, apparently you can respec if you just talk to one of the elders, and they'll say, "Hey, can you reset my skills?"
So Matt, I've been playing. I went back on my word, and I've been playing a lot on hand now. It still goes good, but I really need to set this up so I can put so I can start using my 8BitDo Ultimate 2 controller, so I can just turbo and have it automatically punch for me, because that's a lot of punching, Matt. That's a lot of punching. We Minecraft now, Matt. We Minecraft now.
Man, I wish this had a good Switch 2 bundle. I really want a Switch 2 bundle with this game, because I really want to play this game, but I don't know.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm really surprised at how much fun this has become. Maybe I'll run around for like 15, 20 minutes before bed, see if I can find some, fossils in the first level or some extra bananas, where the story is, it's what you would expect. I think Pauline's voice acting, once you unlock Pauline proper, is pretty good, but realistically, I'm only here for vibes. I'm only here to kind of explore, to run around as Donkey Kong and punch rocks, where the story, I don't know, I respect what it's doing, but similar to like Mario Odyssey, Matt, I'm not really here for it. I'm just here for the good vibes. And yeah, pleasantly surprised with my time with Donkey Kong Bonanza. Looking forward to kind of playing a bit more, and I'll admit, Matt, having a lot more fun with Donkey Kong Bonanza than I am with Mario Kart World. And to be honest, some of the puzzles are pretty good. And
nice.
Even though there might be one proper way to do it, I have found myself just kind of dicking around in the world where, especially in the tutorial level, it wanted you to kind of follow the set path to get to the top of the area. And I just found myself, maybe I'm just going to try to explore this random side path and kind of punch a lot of rocks. And then I found myself completely skipping the path that they wanted me to take and just shimming my way up this mountain another way. And I found that actually pretty satisfying. But again, Matt, you know me, I got to the top, realized I went off the beaten path, so I jumped back down. And then took the path proper just to see what I missed. But my Donkey Kong's green, as you would expect. and I'm finding some collectibles so I can buy pants that let me swim faster, despite me not really swimming at all. But Matt, based on what you've seen, how much is Donkey Kong Bonanza making you want to potentially buy a Switch 2?
I'm like I'm very, very tempted. It looks really, really fun. I know you said the rock double jump is a thing that you don't like, but when I'm seeing people use it, it looks very, very interesting to me. It reminds me a lot of the kind of like hat text that you can do with Mario and Mario Odyssey. And man, I I don't know. I really want to play Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Matt, you know me, I'm not good at video games. I'm not good at video games. So, of course, I wouldn't like the rock double jump.
Jared, I feel like
what's up?
This is going to be the stupidest thing to make me want to buy a Switch 2. But I really, really like the banana sound.
It's so good, man.
Oh, man.
Every time I get a banana and that triggers, I get the biggest, goofiest smile on. It's just a fun game. Matt, it's a fun game. It's good vibes. And now I have Pauline following me around, which is pretty fun too. But yeah, there are a few banana. But again, man, I can move on to the next world, but I know there's like 2 or 3 bananas that I still need to get to. And if I go into the menu, I'm missing 2 others from like the first area. So it's gotta get those before I can move on. And that's kind of what the game is, especially it's running well on handheld. I know Mark, he's been playing it primarily on handheld as well. And he's later in on the game than I am. And, he said that once you are kind of in those levels that have more enemies, that are a bit more intensive in terms of things happening around you, there will be slowdowns on the handheld. So take that for what you will. But for me, at the very least, just this first world game has been running really well, pleasantly surprised. But yeah, gotta get this bad boy finally hooked up to a TV to play a bit more of it. But Matt, gotta ask, since I alluded to it before we began talking about Donkey Kong Bonanza, you still playing Horse Girl game in Uma Musume Pretty Derby?
Yeah. Jaren, the King Halo Legendaries came out today. I got destroyed. Well, not destroyed, but like this King Halo got hooves.
I'm still debating trying to, like, if I should really uninstall, because Matt, those career modes, those are beefy investments, and in theory they want you to do at least 3 a day.
Yeah,
and
Jaren, you get energy way too quickly in this game, which is just a very wild complaint to have for a free to play game. But man, yeah, I really am waiting for, I guess, the 1 year anniversary or 1 year global, because apparently that should be around the time that global gets the the rerolls for end of career sparks, and that's going to use TP, and I feel like that's going to make me want to run career more, because I get to run career less.
I hate what gaming has become.
Yeah.
But aside from playing some video games this week, I also went to the movies. And Rakush, I believe you also went to the movies, at least within the last few weeks, where
I did, yeah.
This is the summer season, which I don't know about you boys, but I'm a fan of a good summer blockbuster, and those are kind of in abundance right now. And I just like going to the movies. I like the movie going experience. I went to one of the, I don't want to say a new theater, but newer theaters within the area. That was also a pleasant experience. But one of the movies I did see recently was the new Superman, directed, correct me if I'm wrong, Rakush, but directed and written by James Gunn, correct?
Yeah, I can confirm. Directed and written by James Gunn. Yes.
And in many ways, this is the soft reboot of James Gunn's DC universe, correct? I don't know how this is working because I'm not that big on or following what's happening in DC right now.
No, that's totally fair. So I think it's a reboot of the DC cinematic universe. The reason it's still a soft reboot is I think they're still trying to figure out where Robert Pattinson's Batman fits into it. But like, for example, Peacemaker, John Cena's Peacemaker is still a part of this universe. The Suicide Squad characters is still a part of this universe. So it's like a soft reboot, but it is like a reset at the very least, if you want to call it that.
But creatively, James Gunn is at the kind of head of the helm for whatever DC's doing moving forward, which I think with Superman does mark the start of, hopefully a big cinematic universe that will do what, bring success to DC, just because I feel like even though I've enjoyed a lot of DC properties in the past, I don't have that connection that I do with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if I had to kind of admit that. But with Superman, went in really open-minded, really excited, just because I am a fan of kind of the recent superhero movies that James Gunn has done, and big fan of the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker as well, where me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Superman as a character for probably all the reasons why someone wouldn't be a fan of Superman, just because I don't know, Superman to me does represent this godlike figure that has little to no weaknesses, and it's that notion of how do you tell a compelling story for someone who is, for all intents and purposes, perfect. And this was something I've kind of talked with Julian on and off, where I feel like to a casual audience, Superman has been at his most interesting when he plays against that trope, where I feel like with the success of the Injustice franchise and seeing what Superman becomes or represents there, it's such a contrast to what you really expect, just through absorbing Superman through osmosis as a character, where when you present him as a villain, when you kind of present him as an asshole, he becomes a lot more interesting to me personally. And when you kind of have to reset it, how do you make Superman still true to that essentially perfect, all well-being character, and make him, I guess, more enticing or popular? And again, that's something I kind of struggled with, or at least wondered about going into this, of how will James Gunn make this Superman more interesting to me when others have failed. And again, I was actually pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed Superman as a movie from front to back. The supporting character is really well done, really entertaining, but I think the big thing is how, for someone that I used to see, a character I used to see as being all powerful, for them to humanize him in a way that I wasn't expecting, with kind of the twist towards the end, or the middle at least, really impressed by, and it really made me a fan of what this DC cinematic universe can become by the end of it. I know that's just me kind of talking around in circles without really going too much into the weeds of things, but Rakush, what did you think of the Superman film?
Yeah, I think a lot of what you're saying about Superman has been something that a lot of writers, great writers, have struggled with, even with the comic books as well, which I feel like this movie succeeded in many ways in giving you what Superman should be and what Superman really is. I think at this point, everybody knows who Superman is, everybody knows what his powers are, everybody knows the backstory as well. I'm really glad this movie didn't actually spend any time really kind of talking about these things. It started out pretty quickly as like, this is an established Superman, sort of like it's been a couple of years in world that like he's been functioning at this point. No time wasted on who like Jor-El is, no time wasted on who the Kents are, none of that Smallville stuff. It just jumps right into it. The thing that it was always going to have to figure out is, how, yeah, like you said, right? Like, how do you make Superman appeal to the masses? And to me, the answer has always been fairly simple in a high level sense, which is Superman's human. Superman is beyond the powers. What does Superman struggle with, right? Like, what are the story points that just superpowers, super strength, X-ray vision, super speed cannot solve? And that's what this movie is as well. It's a lot of just the things that no amount of superpowers in the world can help you solve, while at the same time still maintaining that like he is in very unique situations because of these powers as well. So it's a really beautifully struck balance in this movie. I found it was really well done. A lot of thought went to it as well. So tonally, I think it did a perfect job capturing what Superman needed to be, which is, I think also funny enough, a little bit of James Gunn's sweet spot as well. It's a little bit quirky, it's a little bit campy, it's a little bit cheesy as well. And so like I feel like James Gunn does that quite well. And it really showed with this movie. The story, the plot points, couple of questions. I think with most summer blockbuster movies, there's always a couple of plot holes that are like, hey, what was that about? But nothing that to me is like a movie breaking experience or anything of that sort. So yeah, really fun movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Liked all the different cameos. And going back to balance, I really do like how they handled the other kind of metahumans, other superheroes that are being presented throughout, where even though, Superman does have those quips, him trying to be witty here and there, I really did like how they really balanced him out with the Green Lantern, and what the Green Lantern represented throughout the movie was a really nice contrast where it all came together in the end as well. I think Mr. Terrific was presented perfectly and probably got a lot more fans by the end of it. And yeah, in terms of, I guess, this DC universe moving forward, Rakush, what are you kind of hoping to see, whether it be certain heroes getting their own shots or kind of what tone you hope to future movies will kind of have?
That's a great question. I want to see more of characters that are not Batman. I think that's a very important thing. Is I feel like Warner Brothers and DC have typically relied a little too heavily on Batman to set the financial success, like the financial bar for these movies, as well as the tone for these movies. One of the things they struggled with the last iteration of the DC Cinematic Universe is everything felt like it needed to be too serious. Wonder Woman did not need to be that serious. Aquaman did not need to be that serious. It went through a bunch of reshoots to like try to fix that. You just cannot fix that when like the core is just that serious. You are going to have to inherently have a consistent voice across all movies. So I do feel like it's going to be a little bit difficult to do what I'm about to hope for, which is that each movie is its own standalone thing. Each movie is it matches the tone of the lead character. Let Batman be Batman. Let Superman be Superman. Let Aquaman be whatever his character is. Let Wonder Woman be a period piece if it needs to be. Teen Titans would be a fun one. Like, match the tone of the characters. And I think if you capture it the same way that James Gunn captured the Superman tone, they'll be fun.
Okay, so yeah, Superman in theaters now. A lot of fun. A lot better than I thought it would be, and we made a fan by the point those credits were rolling. But Superman, not the only superhero movie to come to theaters.
Sorry, before we move on, Jaren, one thing I am looking up right now that might be interesting for people that are newly, coined Superman fans. Apparently last August, DC put out a box set of comic books that inspired the movies, tonally at least. It includes All-Star Superman, Superman for All Seasons, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, and Kingdom Come. The Kingdom Come one is a little bit weird, but the other three does make sense from a tonal kind of standpoint. Worth checking all of those out, especially All-Star Superman. It is probably the best Superman story that's been put to paper since, at least like when I was reading comic books consistently. I don't know if anything cooler has come out since then, but up until that point, to me, All Star Superman was probably the most definitive take on Superman since like this turn of the millennium, I guess.
Fair. I'll be honest, Rakush. Might be a fan of Superman by the end of this movie. Not gonna read it. You know what I will do with Superman though? Hit the gritty when I boot up Fortnite later tonight.
Oh god.
But you know who else came to Fortnite, boys?
Who, Jaren?
The Fantastic Four, which also came to theaters the other day. Matt, how do you feel about the giant Galactus head bucket?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So, let me link it real quick.
That is actually a lot more acceptable than I thought it would be.
Yeah, honestly, Jaren, this picture that you've linked looks a lot better than I was honestly expecting.
I thought you were gonna have to reach through the mouth.
I was just expecting to look lower quality. I was honestly expecting, I don't know, like something that looked more just like a purple Krang or something. But this looks actually pretty good. Like, what sized vessel is it? Says giant Galactus popcorn, but includes a large popcorn, I guess. This is pretty good. This is pretty good.
Boys,
honestly, the details on that really good.
Yeah, this is a lot better than I thought this was gonna be. I kind of want one.
Yeah, but also this is the Master Chief helmet issue, right? With the Halo 2 collectors. Where are you gonna put this?
Yeah.
You're gonna put it on your lap when you eat popcorn because you have a sweet gaming or movie section going on. But,
oh man.
Boys, Fantastic Four in theaters now.
Sorry, hang on. Wait, sorry, stop.
Up?
I'm looking at this again more carefully. do the eyes light up?
Actually, I think they might. Do they? Guys, we need to investigate.
They look lit up to me.
Where do you put the battery in?
I mean, this thing is huge looking, Rakush. I'm sure that they have like the wiring on like the bottom or something.
Question. Yeah, but then do I really want a battery powered popcorn bucket?
Do you not want his eyes to light up?
What if it's like, okay, but what if you could also get like, what if you could improve it by like having it be a battery powered like warmer so like your popcorn remains warm?
Boys, I don't know about you, but I like me a good day-old movie popcorn that isn't warm. I think it's a good snack. It's a good treat.
I don't think I've let movie popcorn survive that long.
Oh, well, yeah. It's gone halfway through the movie.
Well, boys... No, I don't want to hate to admit it. If you buy a large popcorn here, you get a free refill. So, of course, you split up a large popcorn between the two of you during the movie. And then before you leave, you get another large popcorn to last you the next day or two.
All due respect to the person I'm going with, I'm not splitting a large popcorn. I'm eating that whole shit myself.
And then you can have a second bag for you once you go home, Rakush.
Exactly. There you go. Strategy.
But...
Actually, I got a question before we get into Fantastic Four. Because, like, when I go to a theater lately, like, I don't want to get up middle of the movie to go take a piss, right? So, like, I'll eat the popcorn first.
You'll pee in the bag after.
And then I only start peeing that after. Yeah, exactly. Now, I'll then, like, only start drinking my soda, like, halfway through the movie. Because then it's, like, I'll still have the second half of the movie to finish it. I'll hit the bathroom at the perfect time afterwards. What's your strategy with like the soda popcorn combo?
I don't think I've ever thought it through this much.
Yeah.
Man.
I think I also don't go to the movies that much, so maybe this is an issue for me.
We go to the movies a lot, and to be honest, like I feel like realistically, most of my popcorn's gone before the movie begins, just because I'm snacking on that during the previews, during all the ads, and I'm drinking the beverage that may or may not have been snuck in throughout as well. That's mostly done before the beginning. And I may go to the washroom afterwards type of guy. Or if not, just try to hold it in until I get home. But it's one of those things where the drinks being snuck in may or may not have alcohol content. And I kind of figure that... I think it's the same on planes. I don't try to drink alcohol on planes because that makes me go to the washroom real quick. Where I think I'm good to hold it in by the end of it. So I too don't want to leave through during the middle of the movie. I need to take everything in because I paid for that movie going experience.
I think one of my favorite things at a movie is hearing somebody open a can. Because, man, you know someone brought that in. And I
try to be... Guys.
Jaren, okay, I have a question. Because I actually really like both of these, and I want to know which one you are. Because I like the people who are confident about it. They just, like, grip it and rip it. Like, just real hard. Like, they don't care that people know that they brought a can in. But I also really like it when you hear someone hit it, like, really slowly, and it just, like, pshes for, like 2 seconds. Like, they're trying to be stealthy about it.
No, I'm grip it and rip it when I know there's a big volume spike coming up.
Yeah.
I'm the coward who tries to hide it in the loud noises.
Oh, man.
At this point, I'm like grip it and rip it because they have started selling cans, like beer cans and White Claws and stuff at theaters. So, like, if you're ripping one, like, it's not out of the realm of possibility that you bought it at the theater.
No, but they're supposed to rip it for you, like, at the counter.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I've bought a White Claw once. Like, they didn't do that for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
From
3-star service, I guess.
Every time I've seen, because I'm not buying alcohol at a theater, come on.
Yeah, that's not a chance. Yeah.
No, they rip it for you. They're supposed to rip it for you.
Interesting.
But
Good to know.
We'll see. Boys. We're the people who grip it or rip it during a Ghibli movie, so take that as you will. So Fantastic Four. Fuck. Now I want to talk about like sneaking drinks into Ghibli movies, but actually a lot of the things, Rakush, that you mentioned with Superman is something that I appreciated that they also did with the Fantastic Four of, even though maybe, again, I'm just a casual comic reader, a casual kind of viewer to these superhero movies, where even though I might not be as familiar with with the Fantastic Four as I am with other properties, you kind of get these pieces of information of who they are, what they represent, their origin story, kind of through osmosis, as long as you follow comic book culture, kind of casually at the very least, where it does the same thing as Superman, where it's framed through a late night talk show, kind of showing off who their next guests are, which are the Fantastic Four. And it kind of gives you the quick origin story, their quick heroic resume, some of the enemies or baddies, villains that they fought, real fun cameos in that regard as well. And then it's off to the main movie. So I kind of feel like with a lot of superhero movies moving forward now, that it is that congested, here's the Spark Notes version of who they are, here's their origin, and then let's get to the actual heart of this movie. And it plays around with a lot of similar themes of, family, what that represents, and what you would do for said family when faced with adversity, i.e. a giant world-eating monster with a purple helmet is trying to eat your world, while a Silver Surfer character warns about him. But I think what I really enjoyed most about the Fantastic Four movie is that, spoilers for Thunderbolts, because Rakush, I believe we didn't talk about the post-credit scene where, we have the New Avengers in the New Avengers Tower, and then they get this space alert, and when they look up, all of a sudden they see the Fantastic Four rocket kind of flying through. And I was always confused about that post-credit scene, because the way they implied is that, hey, why are the Fantastic Four in the Marvel Universe right now when all the previews are, hey, Galactus is coming to eat the world, and Reed Richards says, hey, I don't know actually what to do against this. And I thought that was actually just a spoiler of, Galactus is just going to eat the world, and the Fantastic Four are going to be cowards and flee while the rest of their world kind of perishes. And spoilers, that doesn't happen. And I think that really surprised me and made me think maybe I am really hanging on to what's being represented in these post-credit scenes a lot more than I should. Where overall, Fantastic, I think it is a really fun movie. It's less of a typical, or what I perceive as a typical Marvel movie, full of quips, full of actions, and I kind of like when a movie really focuses on, hey, we have a massive problem. How do we address this without, because we can't fight it head on? And I don't know, maybe I just like it's not a heist movie, but I get the same essence of a heist movie of, hey, we need to go through planning and we have to go through execution. And I think that's what really carried Fantastic Four to me in between. How do you deal with the fact that this world might end and everyone kind of hates you for it? So without kind of getting into the weeds, I think it's an entertaining movie. The mid-credit scene in particular, I was personally really hyped, but it's hard not to think it's pure fan service. But then again, all kind of Marvel movies are fan service at this point. Which brings me to kind of my final point in that there is a mid-credit scene and then there's a post-credit scene. And Rakush, do you stay for the post-credit scene still, or do you feel that the mid-credit scene is pretty much all you really need from these movies now?
I still stay, but I do share a certain sentiment of, I don't know if it's a sentiment with you, but there is a sentiment among some folks that like they've started to mean less and less. Like it's just, especially with Marvel movies, it's a post-credit scene to nowhere. And I think at some point these things need to start paying off in a plot sense. There have been way too many post-credit scenes that have set something crazy up that we haven't seen yet. I'm assuming it's all for Doomsday and whatever the Secret War I think is after it. Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, it like really needs to start paying off soon.
Because to be honest, I think Thunderbolts with, the Fantastic Four cameo or the ship or whatever was the last actual post-credit scene that made me go, oh, that's crazy. Because if we're being honest, Superman, Fantastic Four, like some of the Spider-Verse stuff, all the actual meat happens in the mid-credit scene, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Where the post-credit scene for a lot of these movies are now just kind of goofs and memes, and I don't know. I don't feel like that's a good payoff anymore. Where I understand you're trying to respect your audience's time, where this is a wink and a nod to the diehards that will sit to the very end. But I feel like there's something kind of anticlimactic now that it's all been reduced to, hey, here's just here's quick banter, or here's a quick Easter egg, where I don't know. I feel like we've lost something in losing the post-credit scene specifically for this genre of movie. But at the same time, the mid-credit scene replacing it I don't know why it feels kind of cheap too, where it's, why didn't you just kind of stick this at the end proper? But I don't know, maybe that's just me.
One thing I will say that the end credit scene have done wonders for is making people sit through the actual credits themselves. Now, mm-hmm. I'm not naive enough to think people are actually reading the end credits, but I do think it's worth keeping people like glued to the screen and give all of the people that have worked on these movies their just like recognition, right? As I didn't work in the film industry, kind of worked parallel to it with like commercial productions and stuff like that. It's still nice to be acknowledged. I think that's just a life thing. It's nice to be acknowledged with a lot of these things. And I think like end credit scenes still do a great job of keeping people there. I do agree with you though that like they are meaning less and less, and like something needs to change, whether you just remove the end credit scene entirely or like you go the Superman route, which is just, hey, it's like it's a shawarma scene from Avengers basically, like, you know, whatever comes out of it, it's just a little gag, it's inconsequential, whatever it is. If you go that route, cool, right? But like whatever you do with it, I think it should not be, I don't know, like either you pay off the end credit scenes pretty immediately in Marvel's case, or you just go with the gag so that you're not just building up expectations for something that might not pay off for another like 6-7 years. Because the last one before, I kind of know what happens with the Fantastic Four end credits, but like the last one from the Marvel movies that to me actually felt consequential was the Marvels. I think that was like 3 years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, where like, and I guess mild spoilers for like a years old movie at this point, but like one of the characters ends up in an alternate universe where Kelsey Grammer's Beast is on screen. And that's a pretty big reveal. That's a pretty massive reveal that still has not been paid off. And I don't know when it's going to pay off. I'm assuming it's going to pay off with Doomsday. I don't know what that payoff is. Like, is it going to be like a 5-minute scene that people have waited like 5 years to watch at that point? Like, I don't know. That's the kind of like place I'm at with the end credit scene right now.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. Like, I'll still sit through the credits if one's going to come up, but I feel like there should be a bit more substance. But then again, sometimes having a meme, sometimes having a goof might be the best compromise, just so you're not punishing people who do need to leave early, but you're still rewarding people who are able to stay. But kind of without kind of getting into it, the mid-credit scene for Fantastic Four is pretty much what you expect it to be. I feel like even if I don't say it outright, you probably can figure out what it is considering what's off the docket. But I feel like it's framed in such a way where, I don't know, I'll just say it. So spoilers for the Fantastic Four mid-credit scene. I hope you boys don't mind. It is Doctor Doom, of course, but the fact that they show him in a way where he's holding, you don't see his face directly, but he's holding his mask where it's facing the screen. My immediate thought was, no one hold. If you're going to take off your mask and your back's to the camera, you don't hold a mask like that. Like, I just thought that
I'm guessing Robert Downey Jr. wasn't available for that scene.
It's not that. I feel like everyone knows Doctor Doom wears a green cloak. I feel like that image in itself should have been enough, but the fact that it's him essentially his back to the screen and him holding up the mask while someone's looking at him, I don't know. I think holding up the mask it felt a lot forced and kind of took me out of it. But that's just me being a major nitpicker in this situation. But yeah, overall, I really did enjoy the movie. I think it was really fun. I think everyone played their roles really well, and I'll be honest, at the end of Superman, I don't want to compare the two, but at the end of Superman, I was a lot more excited for the potential of the DC cinematic universe. And at the end of the Fantastic Four, I'm not as excited, but I'm still hopeful of how they can potentially bring all this together. But as you said, Rakush, it is hoping that there will be an actual payoff to all this. But then again, I'm also a Doctor Doom fanboy, so I'll take what I can
low-key, get. Fantastic Four's Rogues Gallery might be a top 3 in all of comics.
Mm-hmm. Where, again, like during that montage of kind of going through some of their the villains that they've battled on this world, I was actually pleasantly surprised at how many are mentioned, and even up here later on in the movie as well, which was also kind of a nice treat. But yeah, Fantastic Four, check it out, and hopefully you too can own a Galactus popcorn bucket. But Rakush,
Jaren,
this has been a Beefy Boy episode, but like Galactus, I feel like you are also here to pose a challenge to the Mistake Zone world.
That's right, Jaren. I am doing Don't Match Me this week. Don't Match Me. It is a game where the person responsible for the questions that week will ask 5 questions, give an answer that the rest of the hosts for this episode are going to try not to match. If you're playing along, you don't want to match me. If you want to play it on hard mode, you don't want to match Jaren or Matt either. Guys, this week, it's been a lot of talk about bathrooms.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about being trapped in one. We talked about going to one during movies. This week's theme, pretty obvious, bathrooms. Guys, let's jump right into it. Name something that you would find in a bathroom. So in 3, 2, 1. I'm going to go with the thing that got me out of the bathroom. I'm going to go with the snake drain. The plastic snake drain. Thank you, plastic snake drain.
Fair.
It's like the inanimate rod from The Simpsons. Let's go with Jaren first. Jaren, what do you got?
Boys, I said it at the top of the hour. I said screwdriver because I personally do have a screwdriver in every washroom.
Is this something you've thought of before? Being trapped in a bathroom?
It's just something that I coincidentally have noticed is in every washroom.
Fair enough. Matt, what do you got?
I mean, I went with something that I would really hope is in every washroom, a plunger.
Fair.
That was going to be my second answer. I'm glad I didn't go with that one. Funny enough, I don't actually think I have a plunger in my bathroom. I should buy one.
You should put one in there because, like, I feel like if a guest goes in and there's no plunger and something bad happens, that's like the worst possible thing that could happen to a guest.
Oh, that's a good point. Point.
Yeah, fair. I think you're the last person that came over, so
I mean,
I'll get a plunger before the next time you come over. Second question. Name something you would do in a bathroom. All right. In 3, 2, 1. Guys, I'm going to go with shaving.
Fair.
Something I've had to do a lot because I'm a very hairy person and my beard grows back very quickly. Jaren, what do you got?
This might be a me thing, but I'll also pose this as a question to you guys. Boys, I exclusively cut my nails in the washroom.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yep. Where do you guys cut your nails?
I do have a computer desk when I'm like listening to a podcast.
Fair.
I've cut my nails while editing our podcast a lot of times, actually.
Fair.
I pick at my nails as a tick, so yeah.
That's bad. For sure, that's kind of bad. That's kind of bad.
It's really bad. I need to fix that. I actually might need to go for like a pedicure one of these days. Matt, what's your answer?
I've been wanting to do this since the start of the episode, which is put on lotion.
You only do that in the bathroom, or like do you have lotion in different rooms like Jaren's screwdrivers?
I think I only have my lotion in the washroom, but I took a shower before this before we started recording, and I forgot to put lotion on, and my skin feels like super dry.
Oh no!
Oh, interesting. You put lotion on right after showering?
Yeah. Like after I dry myself off, that's when I put on lotion.
Well, that's interesting.
Wait, Rakush, when do you moisturize?
I don't, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I do need to be better with my personal hygiene. I do put on a lot of deodorant for what it's worth. I don't stink or nothing, just things like cutting my nails, not, picking at them, putting lotion on right after showering, things like that.
Boys, let's I was gonna say let's normalize, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty normal. Yeah, don't be afraid to moisturize or put on sunscreen. Is all I'm gonna say.
I do have a couple of face masks in the fridge. I just haven't used them in a minute because I typically use them before I go into the office. It's just that some days I'm very tired, but I might do that on Tuesday.
Okay, you're talking about the kind that's like the it's like it kind of just makes you look like you're wearing a Jabberwocky's mask, like that kind of face mask.
Yeah, extremely that. Okay, yes.
I have a question for you because I guess when I use them, I don't have this problem.
Okay.
How does it work with your beard?
It doesn't.
Oh.
Basically, like half my face gets moisturized, and then once I'm done after 20 minutes, I crumple it up into a ball, and then I'm just basically like squeezing it in the beard hair.
True.
So like that's how that works, basically.
Okay.
It's a great question. Doesn't stop me. I want to look into like hand masks. Like I know it's easier to just like put lotion on, but like I don't know. Like I kind of want to try them on. I want to see what the hubbub is all about there.
Have you ever used one of the foot peels?
No, my feet are surprisingly well maintained.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't explain it to you.
Final question. You have the hygiene. You have a good beard routine going on, Rakush, or like lotion it up, or?
So thankfully, like the barber I go to, I get like a shave and a haircut, and they do like a hot towel shave and everything. So I have a pretty good routine going for that. I also actually am getting a part of my beard waxed every time I go there as well, because then it means it grows back maybe once between cuts.
Okay.
It's just that the last few months, my schedule's been all out of whack, so it's been growing in a little bit more recently.
Fair.
But yes, good beard routine as well. So see, I'm like decent with my personal hygiene. It's just like I have some anxious tics sometimes. That's all, you know. I'm anxious. That's it. I'm human. Question number 3. We're talking about the different kinds of rooms that lotion could be in. Well, just name a room that you can find in a home. What do we consider a home? Anything. A bungalow, an apartment, a detached home, a condo, whatever you have. Just name a room you can find in a home.
Jaren. Or, you know what, Rakush, you did this too. I don't know about you guys. I'm just going through rooms from fucking blueprints right now.
Fair.
Fair enough.
Oh, I should
Fair
go
enough.
back to that, not, but
In 3, 2, 1. Guys, I'm gonna go with the attic.
Ooh.
Because I've never actually had a proper attic in any of the houses or homes that I've lived in. And I've always been curious about like how actually creepy an attic can really be. So it's the curiosity is why I'm picking the attic.
well, it's a good room to draft, Rakush. You got 8 items if you pick
Yes.
that one.
Very good. It's very good.
Yeah, but it's typically a dead end. I don't know. I've never really had good luck with the attic in blueprints.
I love the attic. The attic is actually like one of my favorite rooms in blueprints.
Yeah. I actually should have made this question blueprints themed now that I'm thinking about it. Oh well. Jaren, what do you got?
My personal favorite room, once we get it set up, is I refer to it as, some people call this the living room. Some people call it a den. I don't know what the translation is, but I think my parents call it the sala, but I refer to it as the sitting room, where this is a room with our record player, 2 chairs, and that's where we vibe out. So my answer is the sitting room.
Remind me, is den the one with like the 3 doors and blueprints?
Yes.
That like goes down some stairs
Yes,
with
that
the big
has
ass
one
clock in it?
gem too.
Yeah, that's a good room.
Fireplace.
That's
yeah.
like an reliable starting room. Matt, what do you got?
Do you say room or like? Do you consider the like a walk-in closet a room?
I'll allow it. Yeah, if it's a
okay.
walk-in closet that you're going with, I think that's fine.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool.
Guys, question number 4. We've been talking a lot about being harrowed through these experiences. It's very obvious. I found myself a new phobia here. I just want you guys to name a new phobia.
New to me, new in general.
Any phobia, not a new phobia. It can be any phobia. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. I'm actually going to go with agoraphobia. Agoraphobia being the fear of space. Something that I almost felt on the trip to Newfoundland, but not really felt it. I actually found out I don't have agoraphobia. I found out that I actually like empty spaces. It's great. Jaren, what do you got?
I'll go with one of 2 phobias I know the proper names of, and I went with acrophobia, or a fear of heights.
Ooh.
Oh, interesting. That's a good one.
Okay.
Do you guys have a fear of heights?
I do. I think I've said before that I have
Interesting.
like a fear of heights. I don't even like when I jump from high places in video games. I get that like feeling in my stomach.
Yeah, I get that feeling too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's fear per se, but I think, that moment of maybe hesitation, for lack of a better word, I'd be like, oh, this is kind of weird, but yeah.
I certainly feel it more with like first-person games.
I think I feel it with anything. When I play Spider-Man games, my legs feel like fucked.
Oh, yeah, those games would mess you up. Yeah, that makes sense. Matt, you haven't given us your phobia yet. What's yours?
I'm going with kind of like Jaren. One of the phobias that I just know off the top of my head. I'm going with trypophobia or trypophobia, a fear of like holes or many holes.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
Clusters of holes. I just like Googled what the actual thing. It's a cluster of holes.
So, like, someone sees Swiss cheese and they just shriek in horror?
Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen that picture? Oh no, you've probably seen this. The one from like the Junji Ito panel of the dude who's like just has a bunch of holes in his face and he squishes it, and then all the people juice comes out. Oh, classic. Mm-hmm.
We're scared of a lot of things, you guys. Mm-hmm. I don't think we're scared of video games, though. And the last question, I do have to tie it in a little bit to video games. You know, being trapped in the bathroom felt a little bit like an escape room. It felt a little bit like, you know, having to figure out where the key is to get out of a room in like a puzzle game or something, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I figured, let me ask you guys one video game related question, although that could have been the Blueprints question. I just want you guys to name a puzzle genre video game. Any game that you would consider a puzzle. I'll give you guys an example, and we won't use that one for this example. Mm-hmm. So the classic one is Myst, where it's just like, you know, in this open world, you have a bunch of puzzles that you need to solve. That's a puzzle game.
So is your question just name a puzzle game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Last question in 3, 2, 1. I'm actually going to go with Portal.
Ooh, it's a classic.
Which I think is kind of an escape room game as well.
Yeah. I guess technically that is also an escape room game.
Yeah. Technically, yeah. On a technicality, but yeah. Jaren, what do you got?
I was actually just scrolling through my Steam library, and I came across Crayon Physics Deluxe, which, to confirm, if I click the store page and looking at the popular user tags, puzzle is the first one. So
sure,
Crayon Physics counts. Deluxe, which came out in 2009.
Ooh, a classic. Mm-hmm. That is exactly the word I'd use for that game, a classic. Matt, what do you got?
I mean, I am going to go with The Witness. I initially thought of Braid, but I think that The Witness is more of a puzzle game and Braid is like a puzzle platformer. And I wasn't sure if you were going to accept that.
I was actually debating between using The Witness as the example over Myst. So definitely think that would be fine. Braid would have been fine as well, because I do think it's a puzzle game. Guys, that's this week's Don't Match Me.
Nice.
And boys, that means that was this week's episode of The Mistake Zone. Another Beefy Boy episode, but as always, I want to thank some of my best friends for joining me this week. First, I gotta thank my boy, Matt Alba, for joining me, and of course, editing this podcast while potentially clipping his nails.
Ooh. Yo, thanks, Jaren. Of course, as always, I want to thank you for hosting the show and, you know, bringing us our SEO of Oh Banana.
It's so good.
So good.
That should be worth the price of admission for a Switch 2.
It's $700 to hear Oh Banana. I guess technically $800 because you have to buy the game.
But Matt, just think of how many times you hear it, and then divide it by. Also want to thank our boy Rakush for joining me this week, escaping a washroom and bringing this week's Don't Match Me challenge.
I escaped just to be here with you guys.
Thanks, man. I want to thank Galactus Popcorn Buckets. I want to thank Superman. I want to thank the Fantastic Four. I want to thank Snake Drains. I want to thank Bananas. I want to thank Pauline. I want to thank Pokemon. And I want to thank something else we talked about that, boys, it's pretty late and I can't remember. Guys, I'm old now and that's scary. Yeah. But Matt, take it away.
This has been The Mistake Zone, and we're all out of ways to leave our washrooms.
I sincerely hope we're not.
You think opening the door would be enough?